story. To tell the story, we have Shilpa Mehta from Jaipur, and she is going to share the story of the clever daughter, a folktale. Shilpa, please introduce yourself and share the story.
Hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I'm Shilpa Mehta, better known as Shilpa Story Rack, and I'm a storyteller and an author based in Jaipur. And now let's straight away dive into the story which I'm going to tell. There was once a king who owned all the land you could see, fields that rolled past the horizon, forests thick and dark, rivers that took 3 days to ride alongside. And in that kingdom, in a small cottage lived a poor man and his daughter who owned no land. Now, one day, the man went to the king and said, Your Majesty, would you give me some land? I might, and I might not. He stroked his beard. I love good riddles. Answer me this one, and I will give you land enough to farm. And if you fail, you will get nothing. Your Majesty, I have never solved any riddle in my life. I can't read. I can't figure, but please ask me. I will try. The king leaned forward and the whole hall went quiet to hear him. What's higher than high? What's lower than low? What's greater than God and worse than the devil? What does the devil eat? And if we eat, we would die. The poor man had no idea. When he got home, he told his daughter, father, that's easy. The answer is nothing. Nothing is higher than high, nothing is lower than low. Nothing is greater than God, and nothing is worse than the devil. And nothing is what the devil eats. Because if we ate nothing day after day, we would starve to death. The man went back the next morning and gave the king that answer. King liked it and kept his word. He gave the man a strip of land. Now, after some days, when the man was digging his land, his spade hit something very hard. He dug it around and pulled out. It was a golden cup. He rushed home. My dear daughter, look what I found. I will give it to the king as a present. Don't do that, father. You will only get yourself in trouble. Huh? How could a gift get me in trouble? Because the king will say, where there's a cup, there's always a saucer, and you will have no saucer to show him. But the man didn't listen. He went straight to the king, handed over the cup with a proud smile. The king turned it over and, lovely. So where's the saucer? Your Majesty, I found no saucer, just the cup. The king didn't believe him. He had the man thrown in the dungeon and told the guard to torture him until he confesses about the saucer. So the guard went at him with a hot poker, and every time all the poor man said was, why didn't I listen to my daughter? Why didn't I listen to my daughter? The guard went to the king and told what the man kept saying. The king got curious. What's this about a daughter? The man was brought before him and he explained everything. That his daughter had warned him that this would happen, that the king would like to know about the saucer and he would have none to give. Aha! So your daughter thinks she's cleverer than a king, does she? Very well. I want to see her in 3 days' time. But she must come to me neither by day nor by night, neither walking nor riding, neither naked nor dressed, and neither with a gift nor without one. And if she fails, you lose your head. The man went home crying. His daughter asked what was wrong. So he told everything the king had said. The king wants you before him in 3 days. Not by day, not by night, not walking, not riding, not naked, not dressed, not with a gift, not without one. I don't understand. Is that all? Oh, that's simple. Get me a fisherman's net, a goat, and a dove. He did as she had asked. And on the third day, just before the sunrise, not quite night, not quite day, she wrapped herself in the fisherman's net. So she was neither naked nor dressed. She sat on the goat with one leg dragging along the ground. So she was neither riding nor walking. And in her hands, she carried the dove. She arrived at the palace in that in between hour and said, Your Majesty, here's a gift for you. She opened her hands and the dove flew straight up and away. So she had brought a gift and now had none. The king looked at her, wrapped in netting, half riding a goat, hands empty where the bird had just flown off, and burst out laughing. You are the cleverest woman I have ever met. I will marry you. So they got married. The poor man got his land and his daughter became the queen. But before the wedding, the king had asked her to promise one thing, that she would never disagree with him in public. She agreed, and they lived happily for a while. Some months later, a farmer came to the king with a complaint. My my cow had given birth to a calf in the night, and the calf wandered off into the neighbor's field right in between two horses, and now that neighbor is claiming that the calf belonged to him. Please help me, your majesty. And the king, for whatever reason, even I don't know, ruled against the farmer. He said that the calf belonged to the man with the horses. Can't help it. The poor farmer walked away. And then he thought of the queen and how clever she was. So he met her and told her the whole unjust story. The king has made a foolish mistake. Now, here's what you do. Take a fishing rod down to the meadow in front of the palace and start fishing right there in the grass. The next day, the king was out walking and he saw that farmer standing in the meadow casting his line into the grass. What are you doing here? Fishing, your majesty. You fool, there's no water there. You can't catch a fish in the field. Well, your majesty, I have got as much chance of catching a fish in that field as two horses have of giving birth to a calf. The king's face went stiff. Who told you to say that? The queen did, your majesty. I am not clever enough to think of it myself. The king stormed back to the palace and burst into the queen's chamber. Pack your bags now and leave. You promised never to contradict me in public, and now the whole kingdom is laughing at me. But then, because he did love her, he said, and before you go, you can take whatever is most precious to you from this palace. I didn't mean to hurt you or insult you, but I would adhere to your command. But can I one last meal before I leave? So she made a delicious dinner, and the king ate until he grew sleepy and he just fell asleep there at the table. When he woke up, he found himself in a strange house. It was his wife's father's house. What am I doing here? You are here because you told me to take whatever was most precious to me when I leave the palace. And you, my king, is the most precious thing I own. The king looked at her and gave a big smile. You are indeed the cleverest woman in this kingdom. And he promised to behave himself from that day on and brought her back to the palace. And from then on, whenever a hard case came before the throne or a puzzle nobody could entangle, the king would simply lean over and say, "Fetch the queen." The end.
A clever daughter, clever wife, clever queen. Fantastic, Shilpa. Love listening to the story.
Yes, so the strongest message which I felt in this story was that never underestimate the power of wisdom. It can be due to any circumstances, it can be from any gender, any position, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, and we have no clue from where the wisdom comes and it comes, in what form it comes.
Exactly.
Yes. The floor is open.
Yes.
You want to ask anything? Yeah. Anyone, you have any thoughts about the story you want to share? Or for me, this story reminded me, especially the middle part where the king says, "You should not. She should come neither during the night nor during the morning." So there's this famous story in Hindu mythology of Lord Narasimha.
Yes.
So that I was kind of immediately that. I got reminded of that story.
Yes.
So lovely. So anybody else? Yes, Barry, you want to share?
I just want to ask Shilpa, I don't remember if you said, where did you get this story? Where's the story from?
It's a folk tale. It's a folk tale.
Okay, but do you know which culture?
No.
Okay. I know I've run into it before, and I think I've seen it in a collection of Jewish stories, but I'm sure it's a motif that you find all over the place. I think I've seen it as a story called Clever Gretel.
Okay. I think there are various versions of the same story.
Yeah.
But Shilpa, what is the name of your story?
The Clever Daughter.
Anybody else? Any questions you want to have? You have or something you want to share about the story?
Well, I know I've heard the story before, but I had the impulse toward the end of why in the world does she call him her most precious thing when he's such a jerk?
Exactly. I thought the same thing, but I didn't say it because I thought the same thing. She was so clever, and that was not so precious.
And he doesn't really seem to value it. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe she was too smart to say that. I would say it in two different angles. Like one is that's that emotion of a woman, like however jerk the husband maybe. I'm sorry, please, all the men here forgive me. Both ways. Like the woman always considers the husband to be very precious that way, or you just she just wanted to praise him and make him feel good so that she gets a lot of advantages later.
Maybe that is. I will go with the second one.
No, I think that she didn't want to prove that she was right. She wanted to use her wisdom for betterment of the people. Yes. Because I think this is what I felt, that she felt that the king is fool and he doesn't give right decisions. So maybe by saying that he is the most precious thing, she might get that advantage and she might give justice to the people of the kingdom.
That is also good.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
We can also acknowledge in the context of the story and the time period and the culture that, a woman is not empowered, and if she loses, her husband and her role as his wife, she will probably not have very much at all. But also it almost seems like that's a crux moment when she says, well, you are the most precious thing. Is he going to go, oh, you are indeed wise? Or is he going to go, you kidnapped me and I told you to get out and now I will put you to death? Who knows? So she did quite a gamble there.
Yes.
Nice, different perspectives.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you, Shilpa, for that beautiful story that you shared.